But looking at this competition, Hugo, Cacao, and Arel, when it came to their matches, they were at each other's... They were pretty much at the helm the entire time. And between Hugo and Cacao, it was Hugo who was definitely doing better. So it's going to be interesting to see how Arel does. It'll be very interesting to see how Arel does. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The grand final starts here on Mir Roram. It's Cacao, Arel, Yokoi, and Hugo. As we will see an even split by the competitors. 2 going left, 2 going right. Across the checkpoint they go, and, well, no big issues there. Through the first set of turns, everyone keeping it off the walls. Looks like Arel going his own way right now. It's Hugo in the lead. A little bit more than a tenth ahead through the checkpoint. What happened to Arel? Looks like Arel had a bit of a blunder. But the first round will be going to Hugo. Cacao right behind him. Yokoi almost getting overtaken by Arel in the end, but just not enough. There you go, the 10-7-5 4-point distribution. 120 points. These drivers have a lot of work to do. So we ride on board with Hugo. Through the checkpoint, there was Yokoi hitting the checkpoint. Not what you want to do, and I think Arel's just risking it so much. Wow, he is on a completely different level. I'm still a little bit not well, folks. But there's Hugo again taking the lead. Oh, but Cacao, hold on, this could come down to the end. It's going to be Hugo, Cacao, and Arel. Arel getting picked off in the end, and where is Yokoi? There he is, bringing up the safety car, or not the safety car, the medical car position. So Hugo taking 2 rounds immediately. Cacao's sitting in second, and Arel and Yokoi still tied with 9 points. We'll see what Cacao's doing. One of the heavy hitters from this tournament. Staying right in the tailpipe of Hugo. As they go through, you saw Hugo had to release a little bit, went a bit wide there. So it should be Cacao in the lead through this next checkpoint. Yes, it is. Arel right behind him as they go sweeping around all the way. The longest left to right of your life. It's Cacao picking up the first round of his. Ooh, hold on. What happened to Arel? Arel bunking into the wall. He was on for a second place and it just didn't happen. So it'll be Cacao picking that up. Hugo happily taking that second place, and Yokoi grabbing a notch and did third. 3 points between first and second, and only 1 point between third and fourth. On to the last round here. On the track, Arel and Hugo. Cross at the same time. You can see just how inside these guys are going. The absolute mega risk that these people are doing. Oh my god, Arel is so close to the wall. Oh, that's insane. Through he goes. I don't think he's barely in the lead. It's so close. It's going to come down to whether or not he can just stitch the ending up, and he can. Arel, uh-oh. 29.666. That is a certified Amonka-esque time right there. Perhaps Arel has made a deal with the devil. We'll have to see. Past the one plane that I put in because, I don't know, I just decided to put it there. There are no Easter eggs, Yokoi. As much as I would have loved to, but here we go. It's Uptown Showdown. It's Hugo on top. Cacao, Arel, and Yokoi follow suit. We're right on board with Yokoi, the man who got here through this map. So he's actually not going to take the early lead, as we've seen before. Going a bit wide, you can see all 3 Frenchmen pretty much running in tandem. Like the Tour de France up there. Arel with the slight lead, though, coming out of the loop here. Yokoi trying to go for a bit of a later apex. And he will close that gap up to Cacao, but it's still a Frenchman 1-2-3. Threw the engine off. Now it's going to come down to this jump, depending on how you get it. Ooh, Yokoi sliding a little too much as we go up front. Hugo attacking Arel right now through the final set of turns. But Arel's got enough breathing room between him and Hugo. So he'll pick up the round of 48.993 by Arel. Insane run. Hugo, a 49.02. Cal with the 49.08. And Yokoi, because of that error he had at the jump down, 49.5 for him. Next round we'll go with Hugo, who's picked up a very early advantage. Quite the advantage, in fact. Almost half a tenth into this looping here. It's Kakao, Yokoi, and Arel, an uncharacteristic fourth right now. Only, according to the splits, 2,000ths from him and Yokoi. And that does increase to about another 300ths. So Kakao trying to close in. Arel, looks like Arel touched the wall, so Arel's out of this round. Yokoi still sitting, waiting in the shadows. Same with Kakao, hoping that there's a mistake up ahead, but it doesn't look like there's going to be. Hugo, excuse me. Hugo picking up another round of 48.957. Hugo says, Arel, I see your 48.9. I'll do you one better. Hugo still on top. 51 points for him. 41 for Kakao. 37 for Arel and Yokoi. Starting to slip a little bit. As everybody gets a very good start here. Arel, you can see Arel and Hugo pretty much the exact same start out of these two. These guys have definitely been practicing. Kakao starting to catch up a little bit. Yokoi still just a little bit behind. Hugo still maintaining that lead. Arel getting very close to the wall. Slight speed drifts to try and gain time. Looks like Kakao did, but he runs a bit wide. And Hugo getting a better exit out of the turn, and another round in his pocket. Hugo is making short work of this competition, it feels like. Absolutely no time wasted. 61 points, 46, 44, 31. Hugo on an absolute tear right now. So we ride with Arel for the last round here on Uptown. You can see it, look at the overtake. Much different line though. There's a couple ways you can do that start. So through the restart they go. Arel looks like he got a slightly worse exit. Oh, it's like ever so slightly better than Hugo, but it's not really going to be enough. See, he's trying to take later apexes to try and get a much straighter line. That was beautifully done by Arel, and he's coming back. The double apex. He's closing in on Hugo, but there's not enough road. There's not enough time. Another 48.9 by Hugo. 49.002 from Arel. Not close enough. Kakao in third, Yokoi in fourth, and Hugo stretching his lead over his competitors. Arel and Kakao there tied in points, and then Yokoi bringing up the rear. It's 71. Oh, thank you, camera angle. That did not look janky at all. So Hugo with 71 points. Arel and Kakao with 51, and then Yokoi 35. Well, depending on who you are, if you're Hugo, you're hoping you just sort of get it done, and if you're everybody else, you're hoping Hugo doesn't get it done. Here we go, on to Leaps of Faith, PF start. So again, everybody, exact same timing, but the change in position will happen at the drop down here, despite the fact you have no steering. You still can influence the way the car goes, and look at that, everybody getting it perfectly. But it's Arel that comes out the best here. Hugo, Yokoi, and Kakao. Hot pursuit, though. Not giving it up. You see that slightly later apex by Hugo, and he's going to overtake. It gets an amazing slide over the plastic. Arel not done quite yet. Still very close proximity. Here we go, into the final turn, onto the risky fin, and it's Arel that No way. You saw Hugo release, and Aurel had to release. And it still wasn't enough. 6,000 separating them, and Cacao having a little trouble here. Cacao, there is no shame in taking the safe finish. We've all done it. Cacao will have to settle for 4th here. Or, yeah, for 4th, as Yokoi gets a nice little handy-dandy 3rd. But Hugo just, again, stretching that lead out. 81 to 58 to 55 to 40. Hugo having no problems at all. I'll hop on board with Yokoi here. To the first checkpoint. And Yokoi and Aurel actually getting it really well there. Hugo and Cacao not so much. On the reset, around we go. And there's Hugo. You see that slightly different line and just gains so much time over his competition. Aurel and Cacao going for that angled approach. Trying to cut time out of the jump there. And once more we go into the risky finish. Or the safe finish. There goes Aurel. There goes Hugo. And Aurel will pick up the 10 points. Hugo having to settle for 7 points. Cacao with 5 points and Yokoi with 4. But a 53-6 by Aurel. And a 53-7 by Hugo. The gap from Aurel to Hugo is 20 points. But we'll see if that can grow or shrink depending how the rest of these rounds go. You can't see it out loud, but I double dabbed for you, so you're welcome. Welcome to the competition. It's the grand finals, and it's Aurel actually we saw clipping the wall there. Cacao getting the jump down the best. So he's already opening up a gap. Yokoi as well. Hugo not with the best start, but if I had to bet on it, yep, there's Hugo. Getting a much better turn. So he's going to overtake Yokoi here. And it looks like he's also going to overtake Cacao. Cacao settling for a bit of an outside line, but Hugo clipping the wall. And there's Yokoi and Hugo. We saw Aurel going to the left. I think he might have messed up a little bit. But Cacao's going to miss. Yokoi's going to get 10 points. Hugo's going to get 2nd. Aurel getting 3rd. And Cacao, unfortunately, will cross the line in last. That line, it's a risky fin for a reason, and it's so precise. So Hugo makes it a 22-point advantage to Aurel. Aurel with a 9 advantage over Cacao, and Cacao 10 points ahead of Yokoi. So this map here has been pretty solid for Yokoi. He was down by a good margin, but has managed to come back, and I think it's just due to the finish. And look at the absolute start by Yokoi, wasting no time at all. That is about as perfect as you can get. Holds off the attack from Hugo, but Hugo's not done. Let's see what they do. Yokoi going for a bit of a straighter approach. Same with Hugo. There's Cacao. There's Aurel catching right back up. Yokoi opting for the middle, but he is not going to have as much ground contact. All 4 drivers, 2 tenths between them. Into the finish we go. It's Hugo, Cacao, and Yokoi, and Aurel misses the risky finish. So we'll have to... Oh, he's going to bunk the safe finish. Aurel. Oh, no. That's... Oh, it's... Aurel struggling a little bit. So he'll have to settle for a last place finish. Hugo, 105 points. Aurel, 77. 71 for Cacao and 53 for Yokoi. So we go on to the next map here. It will be inside-outside. The 1-lap version. Version 2, lap 1 version. I had to make a slight change the first go-around. I added a little magnet block. You can actually see it there on the right side before the loop. Because drivers were complaining that there was a bit of RNG as to whether or not the car was going to die, so the magnet is there just to alleviate that. And then we quickly realized that multi-laps suck, which is why Nadeo doesn't do them anymore. For those of you that played earlier Trackmanias, I'm sure the multi-laps were your absolute favorite things to go for. Nothing like driving consistently for 3 or 5 or 10 laps or 15 or 50, depending on which game you're playing. It's Hugo on top, 105 points for him. Arel with 77, Cacao with 71, and Yokoi 59 points. I think we will ride on board with Arel for this first round here. And to start, drivers you see going to one side and then crossing over, trying to maintain ground contact. I don't know if you guys have driven cars, but if you're not on the ground, you're not accelerating. Speaking of accelerating, though, Arel accelerating to a very early lead here. Through the checkpoint they go. Cacao, a much better angle, so he's actually going to maintain this lead. Normally when we see drivers do approaches like that through the checkpoint, they lose speed. But Cacao holding on. Through the jump they go. Arel with much more speed and actually a more inside line. So Cacao under attack. You can see Arel actually release a little bit. And he's going to get more of that booster, so he's going to catch up and overtake Cacao through the loop. We go into the drift uphill. Arel slowing down. He's going for the cut. He gets the checkpoint, turns it around, back onto the road, and Arel picks up the first round. A 102.899. Cacao a 103.5. Hugo a 104.1. And Yokoi a 104.3. Well played, Arel. Arel knows. But now the question is, do his competitors know? Because as far as Cacao was concerned, he was tied with Arel, and look at that, Arel dropping back already. But yes, Cacao was running up with Arel, and then before he knew it, Arel was in front of him. So he must be questioning his sanity, perhaps himself, as he doesn't get that checkpoint as well, and we saw Yokoi touching the wall, but right now it's Hugo in the driver's seat of this competition. You can just barely see Arel poking his head into the picture. Through the checkpoint they go. Hugo a much wider line, and he's gonna just take it at speed, but there's Arel. This is the benefit of releasing before the boosters. You end up getting more of the super turbos. Oh, is this? This is Hugo. Hugo gets it even better than Arel. Hugo across the line, a 102.1. What a time. A 102.4 by Arel, a 103.3 by Cacao, and Yokoi, the 104.2. So Hugo, on finalist mode, he sees what Arel does and says, hey man, that's cool. But here we go. Hugo on the verge of potentially closing it out here. Does not get the best start though. In fact, he gets the worst start out of anybody. Running in 4th position through this checkpoint. But you can see him using the ramp to try to get his car, and there's Arel. A little bit of a blunder for him. So he's going to give up that 3rd position, but it's Yokoi ahead of Cacao. Those two are doing battle, but Hugo waiting in the background for a mistake, or quite possibly biding his time, saying, you know what, I think I know where I'm going to pounce. He gets a much better exit. All drivers releasing so they can get as much booster as they can. Hugo starting to gain on Yokoi a little bit. Cacao still far up ahead. Oh, I thought he messed up for a second, but here goes Hugo into the checkpoint, into the cut. Is this the cut for the win? Across the line he goes, and Hugo takes it in style. Hugo, gonna be your winner here of the 300 follower cup. Oh my god. There's the cut. There's the GG. Hugo walking away $150 richer and a free car skin for his troubles. So now we look to 2nd place. Cacao clipping the checkpoint a little bit. He's going to lose not just 1st, but 2nd. So So it is Arel in the lead. 98 points for him, a 90 for Cacao, 72 for Yokoi. Hugo putting on an absolute clinic. Closes out with that shortcut. It came in handy when needed. He saw Arel do it in the first round and said, hey, I could do that too. And there we go. There's Yokoi also opting for the shortcut. Arel picking up 10 points. Who's going to have 2? It's Cacao. And Yokoi, unfortunately, did not get the turnaround he needed, so he's going to have to settle for 5. Arel, though, 108 points. As we move on to the next map. David, thank you for the follow. I do have my notifications muted or disabled for the time being, but don't worry, everything will be turned back on Monday when we do normal streams again. Here we go, it's waterlogged. It's Arel in the lead, 108 points. Cacao behind him with 97, and Yokoi with 77. Hugo has already done what he's needed to do. He's probably popping the champagne right now. To the start we go. Looks like Yokoi did not have the best start. Already falls about 2/10 back. Arel pulling ahead here. Oh, I think he jumped a little too far to the left. You want to jump to the left so you can get a much better line through there. There's Cacao with the slight error. And who's that we hear? We hear somebody gaining behind Arel. That's Yokoi. Yokoi, there it is. Arel getting that first magnet boost. Ends up getting the second magnet boost. Incredibly well done from him, but there's Yokoi fighting back. Also with that magnet boost. Let's see if Yokoi can do something. And there's Cacao who's going to get the overtake as Yokoi does not get the best line out of the loop. 240 for Cacao, 420 for Yokoi. And it's Arel. He's just got to do one more round and he will be on finalist mode. Could potentially see him getting it done here. But then he just has to win one more. Even though you're finalist, you're not quite done yet. The next round of waterlogged. Here we go. Arel with the best start. Cacao touches the wall there, so he's going to be out of contention for first place for the time being. Yokoi fighting back. You saw he got a little bit of airtime, but traded it for a much better line. But Arel maintaining that first place. What is Arel doing? Arel's doing something kind of weird. But Yokoi getting the first magnet boost and the second magnet boost. The turn they go. Arel not giving up just yet as they both get the final magnet boost, and you can see just how close they are to each other. Arel opting to release a little bit earlier for that inside line. Yokoi carrying the speed through over the anti-booster, through the engine off. Arel right now in the lead, and it's gonna be Arel. He knows he's got time. He's gonna take the side finish. Ladies and gentlemen, Arel is on finalist mode. Cacao or Yokoi could deny. We'll have to wait and see here what they can do, but right now it is Arel. One round away from picking up a nice little cash reward for his troubles. Everybody here getting a little cash reward, but you want the most you can get. As Arel touches the wall there, this is exactly what Cacao and Yokoi needed. As long as Arel touches the wall, they're good to go. So right here with Yokoi, there's Cacao touching the wall. And there goes Arel, just blowing right by him. Wasting no time. There's the magnet boost. Arel has Yokoi in his sights. As they... Oh, Yokoi doesn't get the magnet boost as well. But he's going to maintain the lead as Arel doesn't get the best turn there. Oh, but over the anti-booster they go. Here comes Arel. He's fighting back. He's fighting back. He's pulling ahead across the line. And it's Arel picking up a $50 reward for his troubles. The second place, Yokoi almost denied him, but not quite enough. And now Cacao, one round away from finalist, and then one more round to get his third position. And close out this competition. Yokoi, though, looking to retake some points back now that Hugo and Arel are out of the picture. This could be exactly what Yokoi needs, as Kakao has to release. Jumped a little too far to the left, did not want to go for a swim. Not quite summer, but we are getting there. Only a few more months. Right now it's Yokoi about a half-second lead over Kakao, getting the Magnet Booster really well there. So he's gonna lose a little bit of time there. You can hear him just releasing a little bit. Here comes Kakao, though. Kakao gaining. And there he is, out the side of your screen, fighting back with Yokoi. And at the line, it'll be Yokoi picking it up. 7 thousandths of a second. A much-needed 10 points for him. Good. I'll say good afternoon, Jack Craft Corner. It's 12:30 for me, so nothing too crazy. But good morning or afternoon or evening. Not only you, Jack, but wherever you may be in the world. But here we go. On to mixing it up. So, Kakao with finalist mode. Yokoi, 106 points. If Yokoi wants to pick up third, he is going to... he will have to deny Kakao not once, not twice, but 3 times. He'll have to deny Kakao 3 straight times. I believe Yokoi might have it the best. He did catch up to Marius. So, who knows, maybe that'll come in handy. We'll be right on board with Kakao. Yes, absolutely the best people in the world. Arel, Hugo, Kakao, and Yokoi. But right now, it's Kakao. He's just got to get 1 round. That's all he needs. He's already getting a bit of an advantage here over Yokoi. 2/10, quarter of a second. Had to release there. But right now, looks like Kakao, no problems at all. Yokoi, half a second. So unless Kakao touches a wall or messes up, oh boy, 1.7, 1.8, probably 2 seconds here, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is going to close it out. Kakao just has to navigate the pole. He does. And there it is. Kakao picking it up. He only needed 1 round. Where in the world is Yokoi? He unfortunately has to take the safe finish. But that is gonna do it. So it's Hugo overall in first position, Arel in second, Kakao in third, and Yokoi settling for 4th. But don't you worry. They're all going to be going home with a little something. But it will actually be Hugo who wins the ultimate prize